I'm so excited. The 1.22.0 Pre.1 release is out. And this one, I think, has got to be handled with great care. I am certainly not going to do what I normally do and try things out in this particular world. I think if I'm going to try things out, I may have to look at a new world. Now, this comes with so many disclaimers and warnings. And one of the interesting things is that in his preamble, Tyron has said that the goal of this update was to enrich Vintage Story with new game mechanics to the max. And when I read through the notes that go with this update, my first reaction was, oh my goodness, how am I going to get my head around all of this? And the answer is bit by bit. There is so much. This is a massive update. I'm going to give it a couple of days to settle down, because I have a feeling that maybe they're going to do pre-release 2 very shortly. But let's have a look at this to start with. Wow, where do we start? There are loads of disclaimers like do not set up a permanent new world with 1.22.0 Pre.1. Wait until the proper release candidate comes out. And they are changing something in the world generation. They have said, we specifically intend to add new world gen in later preview versions. Yes, there you go. And also they're saying that this update may break mods. Now, I've got BetterRuins, I've got, Windmill mods, I've got everything on here. I don't have a huge amount of mods, but I'm sure that some of the things they're talking about here will break them. So, they've started a fishing mechanic. This is fantastic. I'm saying this with a thunderstorm behind me. It says that the catching mechanic itself is usable, but not fully polished for now, because just getting there was a big undertaking. And they said they had to do a large amount of tweaking for fishing to even make sense and remain balanced in VS. Here's a summary. Now, a lot of us early in the game rely on killing fish in small pools for our initial protein and things like that. However, it says that fish no longer spawn in puddles or tiny ponds. I'm not quite sure what the size of pond you need is. And they have added 20 varieties of freshwater fish. Isn't that fantastic? And the thing about the early in the game is that melee attacking fish, that's, as I do, walloping them with your sword, makes them escape instantly. So I suspect that fish is no longer going to be an easy source. And it says a killed fish is no longer an entity that sinks to the bottom and needs to be harvested. Instead, it turns into a collectible dead fish. Be still my beating heart. That phrase, a collectible dead fish. Wonderful. Right, now, it says fish can be cut for fish fillet for cooking. That sounds good. In a later pre can be cooked on the fire pit as whole. A whole fish. Goodness me. We can eat the skin as well. So it's not that you can't eat fish. You can still eat them. Now it says that they've added a decent fishing rod and line physics simulation, which was a personal pet peeve of Tyron's. So that means that to catch a fish, you really have to fish it. And it says fishing is diverse. You get different fish based on the climate and the location that you're at. Interesting. And it says that the fishing rod lets you catch the actual fish you see in the water, but also beyond that you might get an extra catch. For example, but not only, juvenile variants of the same fish. You need fish bait. Without it, fishing takes a lot longer. We added a worm grunting system. I have no idea what a worm grunting system is. I'm English and the words worm grunting system doesn't mean much to me. And 2 new crops for you to acquire a few types of fish bait. Right. Now, the other thing is that caught fish can be made into a trophy item using taxidermy, including a few very rare special catchables. So this looks like something else we're going to be able to collect. And you're going to be able to mount fish on the same mounts as the antler mounts. The antler mounts are going to be renamed into wall mounts. So basically, at the moment, it looks like the same mechanic. Let's have a look at fishing. Right, a simple fishing pole. Oh, 3 sticks, and it is rope, 3 ropes. That's a fishing pole. You then add red meat stink bait or fish meat stink bait, highly attractive to fish. Wow, I wonder if it works without the bait. Probably not. Looks like you can have a worm as well. Where's the worm? Yeah, there's the worm. A live worm. So a fishing pole must have bait to catch fish. That's answered that question. You can add bait via grid recipe or by holding the bait on your cursor and left clicking on the pole in your inventory. After bait has been added, it will show up in the tooltip. After the pole is baited, you can cast your line out on the water, and when the bobber goes under, set the hook. You can catch fish even if no fish are visible, though it may take longer. Not every spot will have a fish, and if you catch too many fish in a small area, you'll deplete the fish stock. Okay, right, so let's go back up. Let's go back. Dead worm. Is a simple fishing bowl? Yeah, bamboo is just the same. Okay, just checking. A dead worm. Right. Ugh, rot after 4 days. Ingredient for a simple fishing pole. Let's have a look at worm grunting. Is it worm grunting? Worm. I think it's grunting. Oh, a worm grunting stick. Oh. So you take a stick, you put it with a granite knife, and you get a worm grunting stick. Oh, let's go back to that. Hang on. I have never heard of anything like this. So the worm grunting stick. Wow. A worm grunting stick is used in conjunction with a stick in your offhand. Hold shift and right mouse on a patch of bare soil. The sound of the stick being run along the ridges of the grunter. The stick is used in conjunction with a stick. So you need a stick in your offhand. Right, hold shift and right mouse on a patch of bare soil. The sound of the stick being run along the ridges of the grunter makes vibrations that are to a worm similar to a mole, scaring them to the surface. Oh, I'm learning so much. Not every block of dirt will have worms, and the wetter the climate, the better the chance. Okay. Hold shift and right mouse on a patch of bare soil. Right. Shift. Oh. Oh my gosh. That actually sounds like a frog. Wow. I'm not really feeling this, are you? And I am in the middle of rain here. Let's try this bit here. Low fertility soil. Ooh! Ooh! How do you pick the worms up? Right, click on them. Oh, we've got worms. We've got a stick. Okay. What I'm going to do, let's go to E. No. Oh, I'm in wrong mode. Let's go back again. Game mode. Nope. 2. Okay, I'm just going. Let's see if we put this in here and that. Bait, live worm. Now can we just, we can't. Pull. Oh, did you see that, guys? There's the bobber. Oh my word. All right, let's try that again. Yeah, it's difficult to see the bobber. Now, when it goes down, what do you do? Right. Look at this. Well, it's raining, which is good for fish. Oh, I've got a fish. A dead moonfish. Oh my gosh. Okay. And what is this? Oh, a dead black sheetfish, juvenile. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Good grief. I've caught 2 fish. Ha 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 ha. Wow. That is incredible. Is that by any chance a warthog? Let's go into game mode 2. I do not want to be killed by. I've got 2 fish. Oh my gosh. And as soon as the bobber goes down, what's that? That's a grey boar. Oh, they're called different things now. A grey boar. Okay. Hello, rabbit. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that. That's fantastic. And now I suppose, oh, I'm in creative. I can cut these up and put them on a fire and eat them. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. That works really well. If you fish in the same location, you eventually deplete the fish in that area. Now oops, I've nudged my mouse. I'm hoping that over a period of time they will come back and they will fill up the area again, a bit like normal mobs, but it's still quite interesting. And so different locations will need to travel to find every kind of fish. No problem. I shall be all over this map. I shall be standing next to every coral reef. Now, as far as I can see, we can eat the fish and we can mount them dead on a wall. What I don't see is any ability to catch the fish and release them into our aquariums or into a local pool. Now, the other thing is that we've got earthworms now, which I think looks wonderful, and this fantastically named worm grunter. And it says that the earthworm's frequency depends on rainfall and temperature, and again depletes over time if you keep worm grunting in the same location. I love this. And it says that you can now cook stink baits from fennel and licorice plus meats and dough. Now they have added 2 new plants, 2 new herbs, which is fennel and licorice. So I don't think we have all the herbs, but we at least have 2 herbs. So that's 2 new herbs to look for, which is fantastic. And it says that several game mechanics have changed in ways you might not expect and which you may need to prepare for. And there's a lot about item heating, saying we haven't managed to tackle this yet. As an interim solution, heated items in the fire pit no longer reset their temperature after 1 item in the stack has been smelted cooked, but also heating duration is now proportional to their stack size. Well, that sounds sensible to me. Now they're changing mechanical power. Please be aware that once we reach 1.22.0 stable, existing mechanical power builds that have been up-geared at least 3 times will ignite. Something to look forward to, friends. I've only used 1 large gear at the top of my windmill and 1 at the bottom, so I haven't what they call up gear, where you link large gears together. I haven't geared it up, so I'm hoping mine doesn't catch fire. You can test your game world, make backups first in any of the pre-releases and see if your mechanical power builds are at risk. In these preview releases they will only emit smoke but will not catch fire. Fantastic. I'm actually loving this. The phrasing is so sort of matter of fact. Don't worry, we're just going to set fire to your water wheels and your big gears. We hope to still add a 2nd tier sturdier mechanical power parts to counteract this change. Please be aware that placing windmills too close to each other will now cause turbulence and reduce their effectiveness by 50%. Now they don't say how close, and it says you can now craft a newly added large windmill instead to satisfy your dreams of ultimate power. And they put in a picture of the large windmill, which I have to say looks phenomenally ugly. It really does. It's just so big. I don't know if many of you have seen my build, but I have got my 4 windmills neatly under my my watchtower. In fact, let's go and have a look at that, because it's definitely worth seeing the difference. As you can see, I've got a watchtower over here, which actually looks pretty good. You can see that it's above the windmills. Oh wow. So it's not being affected or affecting the windmills, and it looks pretty neat. And I've got this 1 large gear here, but what does happen is these windmills do actually overlap slightly at the corners. Now what we need to know is how far away windmills have to be before they affect each other's turbulence. I'm absolutely sure that they're not going to be allowed to be this close. But the question is, how far do they have to be apart? Because windmills in real life can produce quite a lot of turbulence. And it's not something you see, because obviously air turbulence isn't something you can see. But that's going to affect the way we build. And I have to say, at the moment, my setup looks, you know, pretty neat, even though I say it myself. But if you then have this vast sail, which they're suggesting is a good solution to the problem of not being able to put windmills next to each other, I would suggest that it's going to look fairly ugly Now look, my friends, look. Can you see in the mist? That's actually quite a neat tower. But if I have to have some vast windmill that looks as it's going to be 2.5 times the size of that sail structure up there, that is going to really affect how we build, because they're just not going to be easily fitted into builds. I, of course, am coming at it from the builder's point of view, and in this update there are a load of things that is going to absolutely delight builders, including myself. And do you remember I was talking about mounting fish earlier? Well, you can mount your fish on these. So instead of having these tiny little antlers, we'll be able to have large, beautifully coloured fish. But the windmills does actually worry me. We have new flowering plants, and we have bluebells, daffodils, this very handsome plant which is mugwort, and this rather pale looking thing. Oh, it's parasitic to tree roots and cannot survive on its own. Ah, thus it cannot be transplanted. Aha, so we can see the ghost pipe. These three are ghost pipe, but they cannot be transplanted. Now the mugwort is a flower. That's fine. That seems to be perfectly okay. We can transplant it. The daffodil is a flower, and the bluebells are flowers, but this is a parasite. I wonder whether that can't, it doesn't say that it's a mushroom. That says it's a mushroom, yeah. So it's obviously some sort of parasite that's neither flower nor mushroom. Fascinating. I've managed to identify some of the new mushrooms. I think I'm one short, but I've identified a fool's cone cap, a blue meanie, a wavy cap, a liberty cap, laughing Jim, gold cap, fool's cone cap, and the sickener. Wow, they all look really, really nice. But those are the mushrooms that we're going to get, or at least some of them. Now we have new plants here. This is licorice. This is fennel. We can put the fennel on the ground. You can just, no, that's the licorice root on the ground. But you can see that these plants, we actually have to grow them on farmland. So they look fine actually. So this one, the licorice plant, needs P, and the fennel needs N. So they're actually, I would count these as herbs. So these look like the first two herbs we've got in survival. Excellent. Look at these new hair colours. They say that they've got 6 new hair colours. Let's have a look at this. Can we identify any of them? Platinum white, silver, slate grey. Eerie black. Do if you're running a witch world. Let's go our skin tone back to a bit lighter. Moss green. Sage green. Oak. Peat bog. Steel blue, that just looks like grey. Violet fog, wheat, burnt umber, that's quite nice. Forest brown, gosh that disappears. Sand dune, oh my gosh. Ecru, sunflower, harvest gold, cordovan. Oh, that's a good rich colour, isn't it? Rosewood, russet. Oh, liver. Oh. Black olive, that's grey again. Dark lava. Dim lavender. possible, gunmetal, that's a grey again. This is the closest. See, I have purple hair and I use a mod to make my hair properly purple. Gunmetal, opal, pine green, old burgundy. That's quite nice. So those are now our range of hair colours. Okay, fair enough. Let's we have two new mobs. We've got warthogs. Oh my gosh, look at that. I'm in creative, thank God. And we've also got red river hogs. Now, I haven't seen these hogs before. See, this says grey boar, and the... Hello. Are you going to eat the hogs? I don't know whether they will or not. And this is another one, the grey sow. But I don't know whether those are actual warthogs. So what I'm going to do is, I'm in creative, thank gosh, because of this bear. I just want to look up warthog, because it doesn't say this is a warthog. Warthog. Right, warthog boar. Because otherwise... Oh, that's a warthog. Okay. So what are these grey things? Are these the normal? Are these our normal pigs? Because they don't look like them. They look different. I'm running around with a warthog in my hand. So that, to me, doesn't look like a warthog. Can't come under pigs. Oh, yes, they can. So we've got the grey hogs, the warthog, which I've got in my hand. We've got the grey boar. Oh, the red river boar, the warthog boar, huge grey boar. Wow. So that's the red river boar, and that's the red river sow. Okay, so... Oh my gosh! Look at that! So have our usual pigs disappeared? So this is the... Oh! Gosh, I hope we're going to get the skins from these. Hello. That's the sow, that's the boar. Look at this thing. Oh my gosh. Wow. Those are enormous. Where's the warthogs again? Well, so we've got three sorts of pig, and none of them are the pigs I recognise. It looks as if the pigs... Look at that raccoon. Why is the raccoon? Honey, if you're sitting next to this huge grey boar to try and catch his attention, you are in the wrong place. I haven't seen raccoons sit down before. Look at that. Oh, cute. Cute. Well, let's just... Whoa. I tell you what, these big boars look as if they can do you some serious damage. So, my friends, we have covered fishing. We've had a go at fishing. We've had a first preliminary thought about windmills. We've looked at our beautiful new plants, our herbs, our flowers, our mushrooms, or they might more technically be toadstools, and of course that weird plant parasite. And we've also had a look at our new hogs. Well, well, well. What an update this is, and I've only just started. In the next episode, I'm going to cover furniture. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, leave a like and maybe consider subscribing to me. Goodbye, my friends.